Now, a few weeks ago, you may remember, we were talking about the things that wind us up when it comes to doing the weekly shop. A survey revealed that those self-service tills were the biggest bugbear of the nation. And one thing I get really irritated by, I don't know about you, is those carrier bags. Does that really wind you up, Chris?
It does.
Carrier bags, they're so thin, it just really sort of irritates you, and there seems to be no way of opening them, but I do...
Especially when you buy those, bottle of drinks and...
Oh, you put it in a carrier bag, your shopping ends up on the floor, it's a nightmare, isn't it? Anyway, I've got to owe a huge gratitude and thanks to my next guest, Andy Barr from myvouchercodes.co.uk, who actually gave us the secret of opening the bags from the side, and that seems to work after a fashion. So thank you very much for that, Andy. We'll talk to Andy in just a second. But today, we turn our attention back on the supermarkets and ask, are they branching out into too many areas? New research from myvouchercodes.co.uk suggests that us Brits are developing a hostility to the all-under-one-roof culture, but are we doing anything about it? Andy Barr from My Voucher Code is on the line now. Good morning, Andy, and thank you for that advice for carrier bags.
Good morning. I think if I passed on any bit of knowledge, that supermarket carrier bag one will be on my gravestone.
I think so. You pass it on to a lot of people, then.
My mum will be proud.
Ah, there you go, see? Making your mum proud, that's what it's all about. So, this 24/7 one-stop culture, when it comes to supermarket shopping, is wearing thin, according to your research. 54% reckon that supermarkets are branching out too much, and one of the main reasons is the fact that it's killing off the independent retailers.
Yeah, I think that is it, and I think also people are sick of being generic to death, so... We're going into supermarkets, we're seeing the same things, and now, we're getting our perfectly sized fruit, our perfectly sized vegetables, and now we're being told, well, while you're there, buy a mobile phone, your insurance, and soon we'll be living in there in sleeping bags underneath the freezers.
I often thought a sort of a Big Brother style programme in a supermarket, get loads of people in the supermarket, bring the shutters down. Do you reckon, could that work?
I think it'd be absolutely great TV. We need to sell that to Channel 4.
I think so.
This time next year, we could be millionaires, Rob.
There you go. I think we could be illegal as well, but so, let's not worry about that just yet. But, it's true, though. I know I was up in, I think it was the Midlands somewhere, actually. There was a 24-hour Tesco's that opened fairly recently, and behind it, there was this big street of shops. You had the butchers and everything like that. And I was talking to somebody, they said, a few years ago, before Tesco's turned up, this high street was thriving. You had the butchers, the florists and everything. But since the Tesco's opened, they kind of priced them out of the market, and all the individual shops had shut down and just left with a street of boarded up shops.
That's exactly the case. I think they are killing off the high streets, and I think that's one of the things that supermarkets are often accused of. And I think one of the things that we found at My Voucher Codes is that people are coming in and they're kind of getting hooked into these insurances and mobile phones and things. But the level of service you get with independent retailers, and even with more dedicated online websites, the level of service is much higher than a supermarket. So does the supermarket, or is it going to really get into the level of detail in terms of making sure you're adequately covered? I don't know all of the details about it, but I'd suggest that going to a more independent broker is probably going to serve you a lot better in the long term.
Well, I guess it's all about finding somebody that specialises in that particular area, rather than having one person that specialises in everything, and there may be gaps in their product knowledge.
Yeah, and I think if you just look at the example of personal loans and credit cards, is the supermarket actually getting to understand your financial position, and will it do so better than your bank? Your bank will understand, and see your kind of track record on payment. So whilst, the bank may, for instance, turn you down for a loan, there is the positive that actually, if your credit rating's okay, you could end up with a better interest rate by going direct to your bank than actually going to the supermarkets. Now, obviously, I should point out that the supermarkets have very expensive lawyers, so I'll put a caveat in that, it's worth exploring the whole market.
Yes, exactly, yes, got to put that disclaimer out there. But I guess we need to decide if we want convenience and cheap shopping at the cost of these small businesses who just can't compete with the likes of Tesco's, Asda and the other big supermarkets. And interestingly, just 31% of your respondents to your recent survey claimed to regularly visit an independent store. So it seems that we're concerned about the demise of smaller shops, but we're not necessarily voting with our feet.
Well, look, let's be honest. 100% of us want to keep our independent shops open, but unfortunately, they don't have the same buying power, or a lot of them don't. So the products come in at a slightly higher price, or maybe it's a slightly better quality product, or say, for example, your butchers. Our local butcher near to us is, really high quality, much better than the supermarket. So, but with that, you pay that bit extra. But we're in the toughest economic times that we've faced since probably the Second World War, he says, hastily reading his economics book, and I think that's reflected in where people are going. They're looking to find the cheapest products before, and I know we've spoken about the fact, the beauty of my voucher codes is that hopefully you'll never pay full price for anything again. So yeah, we have independent retailers, we have some local stores on there as well. So it's about trying to support and help your local retailer whilst also trying to save a bit of money. So yeah, maybe get your basics from the supermarket, where milk, bread and eggs are going to be cheaper than anywhere else, but shop around maybe for some of the slightly bigger purchases, and let's try and help our local retailers and all get together and try and protect them. And
we could do that by visiting a website like yours, My Voucher Codes, because you look at the whole market, independent shops and the big supermarkets.
We do. We cater with everyone. So yeah, we work with the supermarkets. They're coming to us every day with their latest deals and offers. But then we've also got, there are small retailers like Jim's Electrics on the high street. But what we're trying to do, and what we're really, really passionate about, is we're trying to protect the high street. We're sick of going to different high streets in the UK and seeing it being generic to death. So you could go to Milton Keynes, you could go to Cambridge, you could go to Oxford. It's always going to be the same shops there, and that's what we're trying to fight against. We want the independent boutique type style shops to come through, and at my voucher codes, as I say, we're really passionate about that.